Hey guys, it's Grim. We're talking more Game of Thrones today. Dudes, okay, holy butts, Game of Thrones, am I right? Am I right? This last episode, episode 2, season 6, I think the title of the episode was Home? They should have titled it Holy Shit, because, holy shit, because that sums up the episode, pretty much. Wow, where to begin here, man? I just watched it for the second time. I did some notes, and yeah, so much crap happened. This is why this is the greatest show on TV. All right, friends, this is why, because of this stuff right here. This episode is jam packed full of goodness, man. It's good stuff. Jeez. Let's just get right into what everybody's talking about. Jon Mo effin' Snow. It's official. He's back. He's alive. He's back. He's ready to kick some ass. Does this not open up so many things, friends? I mean, this has such huge implications. Okay, first of all, I know in the thing I did to build up hype for this season, I was like, Jon Snow's probably just dead. Okay, yeah, I was wrong. Okay, he wasn't dead. I just accepted he was dead. In my defense, yeah, it had been a long time since I heard about his death. It's been like 3 years since I read that book, and I think I had gone through the entirety of the grieving process, and, you know, the last one is acceptance, so I just said accepted he was dead when I shouldn't have, okay? I apologize. I was wrong. But he's back now, and this means so many things. Okay, technically, he's not a part of the Night's Watch anymore. Think about that, man. He's not really, because their vows are till death. You know, protect the wall, realms of med, yada yada yada, till death. He died. He's not really a Night's Watchman anymore, which is curious. I wonder if that's going to be an issue. Is he going to resume his role as Lord Commander, or is he going to, like, I don't know, do some cool stuff with the wildlings or something? Because there's stuff brewing up north, right? Because another thing that happened, we're just going to skip forward in my notes a little bit. Daddy Bolton is dead now. Another huge thing that happened this episode. Ramsay decided to sprout a pair and off his daddy. And now he is effectively King of the North, or Lord Regent of the North, or whatever they call it. And he explicitly said he wants to kill Jon Snow, right? Because he's like the only Stark left in the North, or something other than Sansa. And the only one really stopping him from doing that was Daddy Bolton. And he did. So, I think that's what's gonna happen next, don't you agree? I mean, Ramsay Bolton, the bastard of Bolton, he's gonna go and try to kill Jon Snow. And Jon Snow, he did that dying thing once. I don't think he wants to do it again. I think, this is my theory anyway, he's gonna rally the wildlings and the houses of the North that aren't fully behind Ramsay Bolton, right? And they're gonna duke it out. There you go. The Karstarks, the Boltons, and all those other fuckers are gonna go against Jon Snow and the real ass gangsters. You know, I think that's what's gonna happen. Still, don't know what's going on with the White Walkers. I have no idea. That has to come into play at some point, right? I think that wall has to go down. We'll get into that a bit later. But yeah, Ramsay Bolton. There's nothing keeping him from doing his crazy shit now, right? Because Daddy Bolton was the only person that kept him in line. And it's like, who is higher up than him now, than Ramsay Bolton? Fucking Tommen? King of the Seven Kingdoms? What's Tommen gonna do? I don't think anybody gives a fuck about Winterfell down in King's Landing. Nobody gives a fuck. They have too many problems on their own. They're not going to deal with Ramsay Bolton at all, so he pretty much has free reign to do whatever he wants. Case in point, killing his stepmom and brother via dogs. Was that not just the most effed up? I mean, even Ramsay winced a little bit. If you rewatch that scene, like the dogs tearing apart Walder Frey and Ramsay Bolton's newborn brother, that even made him wince. And this is a guy that gets off on torture, man. Even he winced at that sight. That's messed up, man. That's, whew. Reaching new lows in the old fucked up bastard of Bolton hole, man. Jesus Christ. Anyway. So yeah, Jon Snow, he's back. Can we agree he's like the resurrection of Azor Ahai now? Right? Isn't that how the story goes? Like, there's this whole story behind the Lord of Light and shit, where like there's this guy named Azor Ahai who like was resurrected and like made a sword that was awesome by killing his wife or some. I can't remember all the details of the story, but like it was prophesied that he would be reborn and kick ass on all the bad guys and enemies of the Lord of Light or something. Everyone said it was going to be Daenerys. I'm thinking it's Jon Snow now, because everything's sort of leading up to him being a very big deal. Jon Snow, like, bigger than anybody in the series so far. Which is a good segue to what Bran's doing. Bran can see in the past now, right? Right, Bran, you know, Jon Snow's brother, who's hanging out with tree people. You can see in the past, and he was hanging out with, like, Ned Stark and Benjen Stark back in the day, and Lyanna Stark. So is it not possible? Okay, for those of you that have heard the whole origin story of Jon Snow, how like, I can talk about this. Anyone who watches this has heard this theory before, I'm sure. It's like all over the internet. That like Jon Snow is actually the son of Lyanna Stark and Rhaegar Targaryen, right? Is this not just like a way for the show conveying that information to Jon Snow? Like, Bran can go back in the past because apparently he has super past powers now because he hangs out with tree people. Can he not just go back in the past, find out what Eddard was doing at that one tower where Rhaegar whisked away Lyanna, and figure out once and for all, is Jon Snow actually their son? It's all coming together, man. I have a feeling that, like, the more I see the show and the more I think about it, yeah, it's all shaping up for that theory to be true. So, I'm kind of stoked. That means Jon Snow would be a Targaryen. So many things could happen then, man. He could ride a dragon. He could probably tame a dragon. He could just warg into a dragon, dude. That'd be even more badass. Holy shit. I'm getting a bit ahead of myself, though, because holy shit. Once again, back to the theme of holy shit. But let's move on. Okay. But yeah, Bran was in the past hanging out with his dad and stuff. Well, I don't know if he was hanging out or however those rules work, but whatever. Hodor could talk. That was mind-blowing, huh? I wonder what happened to Hodor. You know, I theorized a couple episodes back that Hodor was actually the most interesting character in the series, and it's shaping up to be true. I want Hodor to, like, get his talking back so he can be, like, the most compelling character in the show. I really want that to happen. I kind of doubt it. His real name's Willis, too. Which opens up the joke if he ever starts talking, what you talking about, Willis? It's okay, low-hanging fruit. I'll give you that. Okay, anyway. Also, did you see those children of the forest that they're hanging out with? Is that kid not getting weirder looking? I don't remember the children of the forest being that weird looking in the last episode. I think they're getting more weird looking. Alien, like they're creepy. And let's see, what else happened in that scene? Mira asked the question that everybody's been thinking. She asked the question, how the shit we gonna fight anything by hanging out in a stupid cave and having visions? Bran doesn't have an answer. I don't know either. I'm sure this whole story with Bran is going somewhere, but I don't know. Who knows, man? I'm just so bored with him. I've been bored with him since like minute 1. Like ever since he got pushed off the tower in season 1 by Jaime Lannister. He's just been the most boring motherfucker ever. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if people have empathy towards that sort of getting crippled and stuff, but I mean, you don't have to be boring because of it. Come on. Anyway, yeah. Uh, Keeping it up north, the wildlings show up, and yeah, it's exactly as I theorized. The wildlings show up after uh, Alistair Thorne's is like knocking on the door, gonna beat it down to kill all the people that are still hanging out with Jon Snow's corpse. And the wildlings show up and kick ass, and they can't do anything. What do you know? Great move, Alistair Thorne, you dumb son of a bitch. What do you think was gonna happen if you killed Jon Snow? Of course the wildlings are gonna show up. They're gonna kick your ass, you dumb son of a bitch. Jesus. Okay, times are changing, man. You gotta embrace change at times. I just love that part where the dude decides it's a great idea to shoot the giant with the crossbow, and the giant's like, oh, hell no. Grabs the dude, smacks him against the wall, ends that guy, like, instantly. That was brutal, man. Damn. That was good shit. Good quality watching. Yeah. So, they're done for. I think Alistair Thorne's pretty much gonna get executed. I'm gonna relish that. That guy was a bastard. One thing I will miss, though, is his voice. He has such a great voice. I will miss that. Definitely. I've been trying to emulate it. It hasn't been going well, though. Brothers of the Night's Watch. We gotta kill that fucker Jon Snow. He peed in my soup. Or something. I don't know how good that sounded. Whatever. I like how Ollie wants to go out guns blazing, too. Like, he's the only guy. He's just like, fuck these wildlings! And he, like, goes at him and doesn't do shit. Ollie's a bitch. I hate that kid. He killed Egret. Fuck that kid. I see where he's coming from, but seriously, fuck that kid. He needs to learn to forgive and forget, man. You killed Jon Snow's girlfriend. You're an asshole. Anyway, done with the north. Let's go to King's Landing. Frankenmountain is beast mode. We all agree that that motherfucker is beast mode. Oh my god. They just did everything right this episode. Like, as far as violence goes, like comical violence, they just spot on. They did it. Nailed it. Like that guy is talking shit about Cersei and he's taking a whiz in the alley. Mountain just shows up. Dude turns around, starts peeing on his leg. Mountain just like, boo! Smacks his head against the wall. Instant death. It's like, damn, that's some comical ass violence. I love it. Let's see. Tommen's still a biatch. I think Tommen's getting better though. Kind of. Like, he's still getting pushed around like a little wiener, King Tommen, but I mean, he acts like he wants to be a better king. Like, he wants to grow a spine, but I mean, who's to say, man? He's just still such a weenus. He ain't no Joffrey, that's for sure. Damn, that is a weird thing to say. Let's see. I love the scene with Jaime, too, when they're at Marcella's funeral. And afterwards, Tommen takes off, and that one Sparrow asshole shows up and starts, like, I don't know, spitting his sermons, and Jaime's just like, fuck you, dude. I fucking hate you right now. Is Jaime not just the most redeeming character ever? He might be my favorite character in the show. Well, if it wasn't for Tyrion. I mean, he only has one fault. He bangs his sister. That's his only fault. Everything else, he is a class act. You know? Well, I don't know if I'd call him a class act, but he's certainly badass in his own right. Right? You can't deny it. He just has that one fault. Other than that one thing, which is a pretty big thing, he's such a great character. He keeps it real, man. You gotta love Jaime at this point, right? Say what you want about him banging his sister. That was all in like season 1, man. Let it go. Alright, forgive and forget. That's the lesson you can take away from King's Landing this episode. Let's see. Yeah, I think the Sparrow dude is really starting to show his true nature, too. Like, in that whole scene with Jaime, like, he's not as pious as he would let on, you know? I think he's a bit of a tyrant. I think he just wants to take over, man. He's gonna wave the flag of religion while doing it. Such bullshit, and I hate that guy. I hope he gets deaded. I hope the mountain just kicks the shit out of him. Then Jaime beats him up too. I hope everybody kicks his shit out of him. And that freaking other Lannister guy, the cousin that became one of the Faith Militant, I hope he gets his ass kicked too. Fuck those guys, man. Anyway, Cersei, let's talk about Cersei for a second. I feel like, say what you want about Cersei, right? You have to feel a little bad for her at this point, right? She's been through some bad shit. I think here's what I was thinking. All right, is she as bad as we make her out to be? I mean, as a viewer of the show, we really are pretty unforgiving to characters, i.e. Jaime Lannister, just all the Lannisters, really, except, like, Tywin and Tyrion. We're pretty hard on the Lannisters. But I'm starting to think Cersei is just... It's not so much that she's a bitch. It's just that her circumstances make it so that she has to be a bitch. She's more like a victim of circumstance than anything. So what I'm starting to think, that's why she's such a... You know, she's probably one of the most compelling characters on the show, right? I don't know. That's just what I think, man. I'm starting to sympathize with her. Yeah. Let's see. I think, Tommen's trying to get back into her good graces. So, I think the old Cersei's gonna come back. Well, maybe a more tempered old Cersei's gonna come back, and she's gonna start making moves to kick ass on these Faith Militant assholes. Because fuck these sparrows, man. Bunch of dickheads. I hate them. I hate those guys. Alright. Done with that. Let's go to Marine. Let's see. Marine is having a meeting with his counterparts. Astapor and Yunkai are taken back by the slave masters. That's shitty. This happened in book too. Yunkai and Astapor got taken back. But, I don't know if they ever resolved that situation. I think Daenerys sent Dario to retake the cities, and he did it like with brute military force. But I mean, like, that doesn't really solve the situation. I mean, they could take it over and then leave, and then the slave master is just gonna take over again. It's kind of a shit situation. I mean, everything in Marine is a shit situation. Can we all agree on that? Nothing's gonna fix it, I feel. I don't know, except like complete fucking tyranny or something. Or Tyrion. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe Tyrion can figure something out. But it's really, it feels like almost parallel to like America or in the Middle East. It's like, how long has our presence been over there? How long have we been there? Like for fucking ever? Like 20 years? 30 years or something? We've been over there forever. We haven't changed shit over there. I don't know. It feels like maybe George R. R. Martin drew upon that for inspiration, because we've been occupying that part of the world forever, and sometimes brute military force doesn't change people. In fact, that happens a lot. Brute military force doesn't change people. I feel like I'm getting too political here. Let's back it up a bit. Something about this next scene with Tyrion really, it didn't jive with me, man. When Tyrion goes down to see the dragons, like, they explain it like Tyrion has always loved dragons, which is true. He's always loved dragons, but he actually goes down to where the dragons are chained up. It's like, oh, good boy, I like dragons, you're cool, and then unchains him. But I mean, I get how they're trying to explain Tyrion, but as like real calculating badass Tyrion, this doesn't make sense. This is something a suicidal person would do, you know? And I believe Tyrion is not suicidal. I think earlier in the series he went on to explain how he really doesn't like the thought of dying because it's so final. He wants to see what happens next. And I don't blame him. That's a good reason to keep on going. So to go down into the depths where the dragons are being chained up just seems really suicidal to me. But I mean, it all works out. It kind of shows that the dragons are really intelligent, but goddamn, man, I don't know. I don't know. Like, let me tell you how, like, a similar sort of event happened in the book. It wasn't Tyrion that went down to see the dragons, though. It was this Martell kid. I doubt he's not going to be in the show. Guaranteed. I forget his name. It's like Dominic Martell, I want to say. But I can't be sure if that's his actual name. I kind of forgot about him because he was a dumbass. He did the same thing in the book. He went down to, like, see the dragons that were chained up because he was convinced, because he had some Targaryen blood in him, that he could tame a dragon and then bring it back to Dorne, and then the Dorners could, like, hatch some schemes against King's Landing and such. But when he goes out and see the dragons, he's, like, instantly scorched because, well, that's what dragons do. But not so in the show. Not so in the show. Dragons are pretty cool with Tyrion. It's hard to say why. I don't know. Maybe Tyrion felt confident in going down there because the dragons weren't eating. They established the dragons weren't eating, so I mean, they're not eating. There's not much danger in being eaten, even though Tyrion is a bit of a snack-sized morsel to a dragon. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that's why he just sprouted this gigantic set of testicles to do this. But it's hard to say. It just seems so out of character for him to do that to me. I don't know. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. Anyway, we didn't hear from Daenerys this episode either, which is curious. So, don't know what's going on with her. Bravos, Arya has managed to pass her getting her ass kicked training. Fantastic. I'm on the edge of my seat to see what happens with her because I'm pretty stoked. It seemed like I'm sure it took over a longer span than they sort of depict in the show, how long she was blind and a beggar. I think in the book she was a beggar for like a month or something, a blind beggar for a really long time. But like in the show it was like 2 scenes. It seemed like a week that she was blind, which I don't know, isn't too bad, I guess. But we're gonna see more of that. I'm pretty stoked for that. Anything else? Oh yeah, Theon is coming back. Theon's pretty much Theon again. I think we can all agree there. He's cast aside his reekiness. He's back to being Theon Greyjoy. Going back to Iron Islands. Balon Greyjoy is finally dead. He's been dead for so long in the books, and they finally killed him off. About fucking time. That guy wasn't doing shit. Plus, he was an asshole. Fuck him. But the guy that killed him off, I can't remember his name. I think they call him Crow's Eye or something. He's his brother of Balon Greyjoy. And, in the books, he's like a super badass, so. And he's brought along some treasures from old Valyria that could have major implications. I don't know if they're going to have him in the show, but there could be some major implications with him. I'm glad they're doing Iron Island stuff, finally, with the show. I'm very curious to see what's going to happen there. I can't wait. Anyway, that's about it. Jesus. The holy shit episode. I have a feeling next episode is just going to pale in comparison to this one. Jesus. I am so stoked to see what Jon Snow does, though. I think everyone can all agree that we're all very stoked to see what Jon Snow does. Because very exciting time in Game of Thrones. Can't wait till next week. Anyway, I'll see you then. Laters.